The RV Show USA is recorded before a live studio audience.
The RV Show USA. Start living the RV dream today. Come on, America, let's hit the road. So many things to see, so many places to go. Freedom and fun go hand in hand when you're rolling in your RV across this great land. So buckle up now. What do you say? The RV Show USA. Start living the RV dream today.
It's time for the RV Show USA with Alan Warren, the RV guy, and America's only radio show about the RV lifestyle. If you enjoy travel, fun, and adventure, well, welcome aboard, everybody.
The RV Show USA. Start living the RV dream today.
And folks, how long has it been since we have had a 1-2 punch from back-to-back hurricanes, huh? And it looks like our friends over in Florida may be feeling the wrath of Irma before the weekend is over. Man, oh man. Howdy again, everybody. We have another show that, for the most part, is going to be about hurricanes and severe weather, but mostly from an RVer's perspective and all the things that can go along with hurricanes, like tornadoes and flooding. But this week, we're going to try and be proactive in hopes that we may reach some folks who are wanting some info, some good, valuable, possible life-saving info ahead of Irma's anticipated arrival. I am your host, Alan Warren. They call me the RV guy, and a special howdy to our listeners in Florida who may be, well, y'all may be listening for the very first time. That happens to be you. I hope you will stay with us for the next 2 hours. Our guests include an emergency preparedness officer from FEMA. He's going to be on at the bottom of this hour, who was actually on with us last week talking about the flooding in Houston. Now, in just a bit, we're going to find out FEMA's suggestions for how RVers can best prepare for and survive a hurricane. It's going to be really, really good stuff, I promise you. At the top of next hour, another return guest is the man they call the Texas RV Professor. His name is Terry Cooper. And again, especially for folks that are listening in Florida, Cooper may have some advice or at least some things that you may want to consider doing ahead of this monster storm, things that may help you protect your RV in the coming days. All right, if you have a hurricane story from Harvey or another hurricane, if you'd like to share it with us, we have a toll-free number, and we are doing the show live right now, so you can give us a call. Goose will answer, and we'll do our best to get you on quickly.
And that's 855-296-7469, 855-296-SHOW.
All right, we're going to begin today's show with our friend from Houston, a lady who is a great example, folks, of somebody that when life gives you lemons, she's not just going to make lemonade. She's going to make lemon cookies. She's probably going to make a lemon pie. She is one of the most positive people I know, and also the president of the largest consignment RV dealership in the country. Let's bring up RV Nana, Diana LeBlanc. Hey, Diana.
Hey, Alan, it's so good to get to talk to you guys. And before we get started, I have to thank all of our PPL family, friends, customers, and I am so thankful and grateful they are all okay. And my prayers go out to the Florida team.
What a past couple of weeks it's been for Texans and now for Florida. I mean, this is crazy, isn't it?
It's just amazing to me. And I was the person in denial. Oh, it's not going to hurt us. It's not going to hit here. What a difference the last 10 days have made. It's just amazing. The Gulf Coast will never be the same again.
No, it won't, but I know we will rebuild. The people in Florida will. I know we have a whole lot of first-time listeners to the show, and some of them are looking at that storm we're calling Irma. I'm hoping that our conversation might help some of those people, many of them RV owners, to kind of get through the next few days with as little damage as possible, hopefully no damage. So let's talk about RVs in general, Diana, and how storm-worthy they are compared to a brick-and-mortar structure, because they may look like a nice, luxurious home, but they're not built for those hurricanes.
They really are not built for hurricanes. I mean, you think about it, mobile homes are built with tie-down straps and everything else, and even they have trouble. And RVs aren't. Now, there are some of them that are heavier and sturdier than others, but I have to say I would rather be in brick and mortar at the time of a storm.
I think just about anybody would. But, as nice as RVs are today inside, I think you can get lulled into thinking, hey, this is just like a house, but it is not a house. It is a recreational vehicle, and you've got to treat it like that.
It is amazing. We were very fortunate in Houston where our dealership is. We did not have any flooding. We didn't have any wind or rain damage to speak of. But as I drove towards Baytown, I saw RVs that had been picked up and absolutely just thrown across the road and were on their side. These were travel trailers, and I just prayed that there was no one near them at the time. That's it.
It's stunning to me how few of people, that died. I mean, it's horrible for anyone to die from a storm, but as many people as were affected by Harvey and then the flooding that ensued, relatively speaking, there were not a whole lot of fatalities.
There weren't, and it's amazing to watch the people come together the way they did, and they reached out, helped their neighbors, they helped people, strangers they didn't even know. I wish we could always be that way where we're giving out that hand and helping. It's kind of like being in an RV community, though. They're always doing that.
In retrospect and looking back at Texas and Harvey, or, like sports teams that when you get through with a game, you go back and you watch the game film and you watch what went good, what went bad. If you look back at the game film, so to speak, over the last 10 days or so, what do you think RVers, coulda, woulda, shoulda? What did they wish they would have done, and what could they have done when nobody, I don't think, anticipated the flooding? I mean, until it was too late to get out.
Well, I think that's it, and I think we all have this feeling of it's not going to be me. It's going to be somebody else, and we all need to remember we need to be prepared. We need to be prepared all the time, not just when the news media says something's going to hit in 48 hours. There's so many things we need to take care of, our paperwork, our, having the food, the water, the first aid supplies, and having the information there if something does happen to us. We all talk about preparedness, but it needs to be that way all the time, not just when they tell you it's about to happen, it's imminent.
But like you said, we all, and I'm guilty of it too. Oh, it's probably not going to happen to me. That's somebody else, but it can sneak up before you know it. Now, are there any common themes that you're hearing from the customers there at PPL, or categories of stories that you're hearing, that they have gone through and they're dealing with now? Besides just water.
Oh, I've heard stories of people having to get out because they had water up to, it was chest high. I've heard people who had sides of their homes blown away. A Boy Scout friend of ours, he was hit, or his home was hit with a tornado the first night, and then 2 days later had flooding. It seemed to all happen, but there is just an amazing group of people that are smiling, and they're still so thankful to be here and to have what they have. They have each other and they have their lives.
Well, for our listeners that haven't heard, or you may not know, PPL Motorhomes, their Houston location, is in the southwest part of Houston, where a lot of that horrible flooding TV footage was coming from. But, Diana, y'all have like 500 or so RVs on the lot that people have left to sell. They've consigned them over there at PPL. Tell our listeners what happened, because it sounds like, you mentioned that you had very little damage. It sounds like y'all were really, really blessed.
Well, as I said, this wasn't our first rodeo. We had the one about 8 years ago, and we have a storm plan, and 2 days before the storm was supposed to hit, my team went into action. That's when you start locking up every compartment, check every window, do everything you can to secure the lot itself. Trash cans, anything that could fly has to be secured, and they were amazing. I don't know how they did it. And then I had a team member who he and his wife actually live in a Tiffin, and they stayed on the property through the whole storm. It was like having my own newscaster right there telling me what was happening. And we were just blessed. That's all you can say, just blessed.
I think it takes somebody with some pretty strong backbone to live through the hurricane, in your RV, just sitting there not knowing. I mean, you guys are up on a little hill there, so to speak, so you did not get the flooding, but gosh, you got to have nerves of steel to watch the water come up around you, I think.
I could not have done it. I will tell you right now, I don't think that it's in me to live through a hurricane in an RV. You know, I was very happy to be in my 2-story house knowing that if it started flooding, I was going upstairs. That was it.
What were those 4 or 5 days like for you, Diana, that trying to run a business when you're sequestered in your home, you can't get out? I mean, worrying about employees and customers. What was it? It had to be nerve-wracking.
You know, I look back now, and it didn't seem as bad as it was right in the middle of it, but I had every emotion you could ever feel that came across me in those few days. You know, first of all, I was in control. It wasn't going to happen to me. Then I was in denial that it was happening to me. And then you want to reach out and help. Then you have sympathy. I mean, every kind of emotion. As a matter of fact, I urge you guys to go to a blog that I write called RVnana.com. I wrote a blog the other night, in the middle of the night, about all of my crazy emotions. And I think all of us can share this blog. It was what we experienced here.
I got to tell you, you have been through a lot, and our friends over in Florida are bracing for what they're getting ready to, you know, it's going to be a different kind of storm, but another monster. So, Diana, can you hang on? Got to jump for a quick break, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, folks, this is the RV Show USA. I'm Alan Warren, the RV guy, and we got RV Nana, Diana LeBlanc from PPL Motorhomes on with us. Thank you all for listening. If it's your first time to listen to the show, well, welcome aboard. Going to take a quick break. Be right back. Y'all don't go anywhere. I want to take a minute and do a little bragging on my friends at... Okay, I'm going to fall asleep on us, y'all.
Well, that's no good. You can't be doing that. You're the host.
I know. I know. I'll be right back.
All right, so glad RV Nana's okay. No damage done to the PPL inventory, at least in the Houston area, which is really, really remarkable when you think about everything done within the city of Houston and surrounding areas. You know, like RV Nana said, the Gulf Coast is not going to be the same ever. I used to have family that lived in Kingsville, and so we'd go to Corpus all the time, and, you know, I haven't been, obviously, in a while. I've got friends that live in Houston and Beeville, and I'm familiar with Refugio and Goliad and that area, so, you know, all those areas that are hit, which is a big swath of land if you actually go take a look at the affected areas from the storm. Oh my goodness. So I know a lot of people are having relief efforts for Houston because it's the major populated center of that area. But there are other places that need help as well. So if you're on the Gulf Coast or can lend a hand, of course, there are several opportunities, even some that we learned about last week, the RV Disaster Corps, among others. So if you have the ability to help and you have the desire to help, they could still use a lot of help down there in that area.
Yep, and they'll need a lot of help for a long time to come, I'll guarantee you.
Yuppie.
How much time we got? All right, this has been a 4-minute break. If you guys have not yet subscribed to our newsletter, we invite you to do so. Did you already tell them that, Goose?
I did not.
All right.
Just hearing stuff about that Gulf Coast area, which, you know, it breaks my heart because I actually used to have family that lived down in Kingsville, as I said.
Yeah.
That's actually where my dad grew up. My grandmother lived for many, many years. So so we traveled Kingsville, Falfurrias, Mathis. I used to live in Beeville. I know they got hit a little bit in the surrounding area. So.
You know, you don't hear much about Port Aransas. You hear a little bit about Rockport, but everybody's thinking about Houston. Now they're talking about...
You don't even hear about Corpus anymore.
Yeah.
Because Houston's the massive population center.
Oh, man.
So
I mean, 4 million people or whatever got affected. It's a bad deal.
Well, and they were saying, like, if you really look at everybody who was somewhat affected, it's almost half the population of Texas.
You know, there is something special about radio station coffee.
Really?
It's especially bad.
Oh, Lord.
Do you drink coffee?
Not really, no.
This may get me off of coffee.
Really?
I'm a coffee-holic. I drink my...
Well,
I don't even know what
now I know the secret weapon how to deter coffeeholics. Bring them coffee from the station. Yeah, that'll do it.
I went to the coffee pot. I don't know how long it's been since it's been cleaned, but there's fur. It looks like fur.
That's not nice.
What? Hey, I can eat just about anything, but I had to clean that pot out. So that's what took me a while.
Oh my goodness! All right. All right, folks, we are just a few moments away from coming back to RV Nana. So stick with us as the RV Show USA rolls on.
What we got if you're way up and love up and down and looking back? Gotta conserve water, keep the air clean. Take care of Texas, don't you know what I mean, y'all? Kevin Fowler here. Texans take great pride in keeping our air clean. Visit TakeCareOfTexas.org and take the pledge to help keep it that way. We'll send you a free Texas State Park Guide. You gotta take care of Texas, it's the only one we got.
Sponsored by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality.
The RV Show USA. Start living the RV dream today.
All right, 21 minutes past the hour. Alan Warren, the RV guy, back with you, along with our friend Diana LeBlanc from PPL Motorhomes in Houston. And we're talking about hurricanes and floods and essentially natural disasters and how to deal with them from an RVer's perspective. So, Diana, you said that the spirits over there were super good. Are they? And people are still in a good mood and helpful and helping their neighbors?
Everybody has been. And you have to remember, it's not just Houston. It's the whole Gulf Coast. Rockport, Port Aransas, Port Arthur. None of these areas will ever be the same. They will all come back stronger and better. But there's this spirit here in Texas that's just amazing. It really is.
As somebody, I know that you have been through many, many hurricanes, and you've seen so many young people that are new to RVing today that may have never been through a hurricane before, especially down in South Florida where the winds are going to be up so high over the weekend. What advice would you give to them besides get out? I mean, because a lot of people, they think they're bulletproof and they're going to be able to make it through anything.
You are not bulletproof. That RV is still just metal. It's still fiberglass, and it's still on wheels and has the possibility of being thrown across a road. Get out and get to safety.
If you have to stay, and I'm going to be talking, all day, the show long about what to do, but I guess fill up your tanks, bring your slide outs in, let the air out of your tires. Aren't those some things that are pretty much essential if you're going to leave your RV behind?
Yes, you need to lock all of your compartment doors. You need to, make sure nothing is sitting out that's going to fly into it. You do need to bring those slides in and just basically hunker down. I would not want to ride one out through, in an RV. I just really wouldn't. So.
I know that PPL, besides being the largest consignment RV dealer in the country, you've got a ginormous parts store there. What's anything in particular selling right now after the storm and during the flooding? Is there any hot item, one or two things that are really flying off the shelf?
It's a little bit of everything. We opened on Monday, and my 37 years with PPL, we've never been open on Labor Day, but my team volunteered to be there to help our customers. And we had people lined up to get sewer hoses and extension cords because they're having to make shift places to stay and have their RV that are not just like backing into Big Chief and being able to hook up right there within, a few feet of the dump site. And everybody is just preparing and getting ready to hunker down, and recover. That's it, recover.
Well, I know that we do our best to try to take the high road whenever possible. I think that RVers are some of the best example of really good, decent human beings. But, every once in a while you see the price gougers out there. It just makes me it's everything I can do to be a gentleman and not yell and be angry. But are you seeing most of your customers are being reasonable? Or
most of the people I've seen throughout Houston have been reasonable. There's always going to be one in the bunch. There always will be somebody who's going to try to take advantage of somebody else's misfortune. I had an experience with a customer who wanted to raise his price several $1,000s on his RV because of the storm, and I told him he was welcome to do that, and he could come pick it up in our parking lot and take it and sell it anywhere he wanted to. But PPL's not going to be a part of that. That's not us. We're out to help each other. That's what the RV lifestyle is all about.
Good for you. And it's nice that you only had like one of them. So I was going to ask, how is business? I mean, is business been terrible since the flood? What's going on at PPL?
Well, Wednesday we reopened with the skeleton team last Wednesday, and it was kind of quiet. The phones were busy, and then it got busier every day. And on Monday, It was crazy. I had 46 employees there who volunteered to be there on Monday, and it was wild. We actually took contracts on over 20 vehicles, and
wow.
at least 60% of those were people who were looking for temporary housing. And some of that temporary housing is because their homes have been damaged, but they want to live on the property while they're being rebuilt.
Gotcha. I got a question. If I'm listening to the radio show, I'm watching the live studio broadcast, why should I bring my RV to PPL to have y'all sell it? I mean, right now, people are desperate for an RV, and maybe I can just stick a sign on it and you know, I hate to say it, but stick it to somebody and make a lot of money. I mean, why should I bring it to PPL?
Because we're going to handle more than just the sale for you. We've got customers there who want to buy, but we're going to make sure that we deliver a clear and marketable title to our buyers, and we're delivering certified funds to our sellers. We're making sure the paperwork's taken care of and that buyer leaves with a good experience, and that seller leaves with a good experience. You don't know what you're in for when you're meeting somebody on the corner to go show your RV.
You mentioned about a good, clear title. Is that I'm hearing more and more horror stories about people that think they're buying X RV and they end up getting something that's not exactly what they thought they were buying because the paperwork's all messed up.
Well, that can happen to anyone, and unfortunately, there's people who don't understand about their paperwork. They never transferred it when their Uncle Bubba or whoever it was gave it to them. And there's problems with the paperwork. We will not list one for sale unless it has a clear title or it has a title that we can pay off for them and take care of it and make sure that our buyer gets that clear document.
Somebody in the studio last week asked if there was anything such as a Carfax for RVs, and I'm not sure if we talked about that, but is there any such a thing?
There is for motorized. I have not been very successful at getting consistency on the ones for towables, but there is for motorized. And I encourage people to look at that, especially after storms and things. You're going to find the ones that have had water damage or that they've been a salvage title. You've got to watch for that.
And I would imagine with the leaks, it would seem to me that the bigger the leak, the easier it is to find. But with all the rain that y'all have had, all the rain the Floridians are going to have, those little bitty leaks, those can be the hardest to find and sometimes cause the most damage.
Well, I encourage people to, even if you went out and checked your RV right after the storm, go out 2 days, 3 days, 5 days later and check it. We had a couple of them that we checked all of our units out there, and we did identify some problems with wind-driven rain. But a few days later, you start seeing it coming in where you didn't see it to begin with because it seeps down finally. And especially in your overheads and, in Class Bs and Cs and in your compartments, as far as your kitchen cabinets, bedroom cabinets and all. That's where it's going to seep down.
What are some of the real quick basics that RVers can do right now if their RV has been through the storm? I would imagine that the key thing is to get them dry and open them up and get them dry inside.
Open them up, dry them up, and assess what the damage is. And figure out what you can do to try to get the repair done. Most of these people are having complete roof reseals. We've got several people who've come in to have that done. But in the meantime, you always have to have that patch kit with you because you never know when you're going to bump into a tree branch that kind of got away and you have a little hole here or a little hole there. Take care of it first and make sure that it's protected even before you can get it into a service facility.
Awesome.
All the service places are going to be delayed several weeks.
Oh, I know they are. Listen, we've got to wrap it up right now, Diana. We'll catch up with you soon. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything you do to help the people, not just RVers, but with the positive attitude and all the help you do to the community, okay?
We love it. Thank you so much, Alan.
All right.
Talk to you
See
soon.
You again.
Bye.
All right, folks, if you've got a used RV you want to sell, you're looking to buy a used RV, you can connect with Diana LeBlanc and her team at any of their 3 great Texas locations. Just go to PPL Motorhomes.com. We just love Diana and PPL and what they do. All right, next up is our friend from FEMA. He's going to tell us what to do and what not to do with Irma coming. Y'all stick around. Well, the big chief's gone crazy at Nasty coffee, I'm telling you, boys and girls. Nasty coffee.
Well, next time bring your own.
That's okay. I drink too much. I like to complain too, and I'm good at it. I'm good at interrupting. I'm good at complaining.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I only get good at hosting a radio show.
I'm working on it. I got the talking down. I just don't say anything. All right, y'all. Thank you for being with us. If it is your first time, welcome aboard. We appreciate y'all being with us. This is a 2-hour live radio show. We're live right now. And we do this program every Wednesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time, so you can adjust for wherever you're listening from. If you subscribe to our newsletter, we will send you an email. A lot of y'all got your email today. With a link on it that all you got to do is click on it at showtime. Bam, you'll be right here in the studio. You can join us. Let me see, who we got? We got Jennifer, and there's my bride. We got Sheila and Sam and Carol and lots of folks. So if y'all have a question, pose it. If you have a comment, pose it. And I'm busy looking at my notes and watching the clock, and Goose can probably interrupt me, and we'll try to answer and address your question if you've got one. I'm sure we probably know where everybody's from. Is there any hot topic, Goose, that people are talking about?
Just in general, or?
Yeah, I mean, anybody talking about anything? Anybody
Not really.
got a question?
Not that I.
PPL, honor before dollars. Amen.
Yes.
Who said that? I like that.
And also, if you're not near a PPL location and you're looking to buy an RV, go here, RVinspection.com, find a certified RV inspector to come check out the RV you want to buy, so that way you don't fall victim to these predators.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to have Ronnie Warren, no relation, from FEMA. He's way too smart for me.
And Ronnie's very thankful for that, I must say.
He's a really smart guy. He is, well, he told me, I talked to him for a little bit earlier today, and I think his title is an emergency preparedness officer, but I think he got a bonus, a promotion or whatever. He's way up there. But he's going to talk about preparedness, what to do. And hopefully, and Ronnie's a full-time RVer too, so listen up. I think he's got some really great advice.
We've got about a minute and a half left in our break, but after that, Alan's going to introduce you and bring you on for 2 segments, all right?
I am.
All right, I'll put you on brief hold, Ron, and be with you in here shortly, all right? Thanks.
This guy's really good. If you go to our website, on the front page of the RVShowUSA.com, we've got the sliders, the big pictures of sliders. One of them's got a FEMA logo on it.
Hold on, you said sliders. You have hamburgers on your site?
Don't talk food. I'm too hungry. But we got sliders there. Click on the one that says FEMA, and it will take you over to a page, a FEMA page, that will help you prepare for a disaster. It's like 100 and some pages. There are PDF files, and what you need, why you need it, when you need it, the supplies lists, first aid, CPR, all different kinds of stuff, and it's free, and the link is there on our website. We got about 30 seconds to go till we get back into the show. Y'all got a question? Bam! Fire it to us, and Goose will read it to me, okay?
Ronnie Warren joins us next as the RV Show USA rolls on.
RVs to choose from, I hope you'll check out DeMontrond RV. Yep, they're a bit of a drive from San Antonio, but the savings and the service you'll experience are well worth it. Connect with DeMontrond RV through our website, thervshowusa.com, thervshowusa.com, and click on Certified Dealers.
The RV Show USA.
And it's Alan Warren, the RV guy. We're back with our hurricane show from a RVer's perspective. Actually, our second hurricane show in a row, where last week we were talking about Harvey here in Texas and had no idea of a gal they're calling her Irma. She's still out in the Caribbean, but it looks like she is steaming her way quickly towards Florida. And if Florida gets a direct hit, how will it affect RVers? Is it too late to do anything to help mitigate the potential problems? Is help available if the worst possible scenario happens? Well, to help us understand the big picture of hurricanes and what can happen, we have an emergency preparedness officer from FEMA on our guest line. His name is Ronnie Warren. And Ronnie, I can't believe it, 2 weeks in a row we're talking about hurricanes and natural disasters.
That's correct, Alan. And we have another Hurricane 1. It's out in the ocean as well, working its way towards the west.
Well, I promised you that when we spoke earlier, I was going to try to be quiet, let you have the floor. You got so much valuable information. We got people listening from Texas to Florida. Which one you want to jump on first?
So that's excellent, and I hope people are getting the message about preparedness. Right now, with these hurricanes that are building and working their way towards the United States, there's no better time than to be prepared than to be prepared now. It's not too late to start buying some of those essentials that you need to assist you in your evacuation. There's no time like now to build a plan, about what you're going to do, where you're going to go, how you're going to get there. And one of the things that we are seeing is people that are victims of the hurricane, Harvey, sometimes they don't often understand their insurance policies and so forth. So that's one of the things that I encourage your listening audience to do is make sure your policy it will cover your RV. You have good insurance for your home and adequate insurance and so forth. So that's one of the things about preparedness is making sure that you can financially recover the best you can after you are a survivor of a hurricane or any other kind of disaster.
Let me jump in here just a second. Now, folks, we have got, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to get an insurance expert on, and he's going to address some questions. It's too early right now because it's a fluid situation, but Ronnie's right. Check your insurance policy and just check it. Even if you're not in the storm zone, check your insurance policy, and now's the time to prepare. Ronnie, they're saying, I saw that this Hurricane Irma is the strongest hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic Ocean ever. What is FEMA preparing for, just in case?
Well, FEMA is already starting to pre-position response assets and make our notifications to our response partners to get them in place so that once the storm does make it to the land, that we can properly start our work as FEMA with disaster response and recovery and help the citizens out and support the state and local government the best that we can.
How does FEMA deal with people that, in spite of the warnings, they simply refuse to go, and then all of a sudden it's too late, and they expect y'all to come in on a white horse and rescue them?
Yeah, that's true, Alan, but fortunately the evacuation orders come at the local government and state government level. FEMA really doesn't have anything to do with prompting folks to evacuate other than supporting the state and local government decision to ask their citizens to evacuate to a safer place.
It seems like to me that FEMA is in a sort of a no-win situation. I mean, it's I guess you don't make people whole. The government doesn't make people whole. You're there to try to get them through, to get a leg up, to get their life back on track.
That is true. We will not make you 100% the day the storm hit, but we will, help you get back on your feet, and but we will not, be replacing all of your property that you lose. We also, anticipate, people are getting the message of preparedness and start making a plan. The preparedness begins with the individual. It is not really the government's job to go in and make you whole again after disaster. We are there to, help you get your life back on track a little bit, but we cannot make everybody whole in a disaster. And if you think about that, we have wildfires, we have floods, we have tornadoes, we have hurricanes, we have winter storms year-round that people lose their property or have their property damaged, and the government can't come in and take care of all of that. So a lot of that responsibility has to be placed upon the citizens to have disaster plans, have good insurance, and things like that. Disaster preparedness begins with you, the individual, and we need to get that message out for people to get out there and put together their own disaster plan that works for them and gets them recovered after a disaster if they were to find themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time.
All right, Ronnie, this is great stuff. Hang on through the break, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, folks, we got FEMA Emergency Preparedness Officer Ronnie Warren on with us with some great advice for people that are in the path of Hurricane Irma. We're going to talk about that, maybe what FEMA is doing right now just in case the storm hits over the weekend, how bad it's going to be. So y'all stick around. 855-296-7469.
Have you ever dreamed of an amazing life combining work and...
All right.
I'm going for another round.
Are you now? Okay,
Yep.
so I can tell people who have maybe never joined us before exactly what we're doing here.
Okay. Are they asking?
I have one person ask.
We're wondering ourselves.
Wait, sometimes we wonder what we're doing here too. So, you are watching the live studio recording for the RV Show USA, a radio program that we do a Facebook Live broadcast for. So you are actually our studio audience. Ha, suckers. There's a reason I'm in radio. This is not a television face yet. Gotta say it. But anyway, so we do the show live on the side broadcast every Wednesday from 7 to 9 Central Time. And then this show, the radio portion, airs over the weekend. It's syndicated through the Western One XDS satellite platform. I put it up on the satellite after we get done here tonight. And then, stations from around the country have access to it to broadcast in your local area. If you do not have the RV Show USA in your local area, contact your local talk radio station and tell them you want the RV Show USA.
We want it. We
on
want it now.
your radio station.
It's
So hopefully you'll join us each and every week. We do, of course, have our video archive here on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. Of course, you can find the audio archive, not just on the RVShowUSA.com, but also on Apple Podcasts. Search for The RV Show USA, and you can listen to our previously recorded programs. Of course, you can also subscribe to our newsletter. We send one out every week. That's TheRVShowUSA.com. And fill out your information. Let us know a little bit more about you, and you can get our newsletter each and every week that has links to the archive, both the audio and video archive, and you can even,
if you subscribe,
get one of these for free when you subscribe. So let us know where to send it. The official, mind you. Also for this
not the
unofficial
unofficial,
nonsense.
not the amateur.
The official 2017 RV travel and camping guide. So there's that. And
It's the last question when you subscribe to the newsletter. It's the very last question. If you travel in Texas, if you're going to RV in Texas, if you're thinking about RVing in
Look at
Texas. And anyway, check it out. Click yes, and we got some we'll send to you. I don't want to start a fight. I cannot.
Then just be quiet.
Okay.
Just be quiet then. Not really. What do you want to say?
Okay. I want to say that the monologue that comes up at 55 minutes after the hour is in response to something that I did. I made a post in a Florida RV camping group a couple of days ago, and I really made some people mad, and that was not my intent. And my daughter told me, she said, Dad, do not go there. So I typically do the opposite, kind of like a kid does the opposite of what her parent says.
You tend to make people mad every day, though, but that's typically just Lisa and
Do a
Katie.
pretty good job.
Yeah.
So anyway, y'all stick around for that monologue. It'll be at 55 minutes after the hour, and it's especially for y'all in Florida, especially if you're mad at me in Florida.
Poke the bear, why don't you? Goodness gracious.
I'm trying.
All right, guys, stick around. Ronnie Warren of FEMA continues with us next as the RV Show USA rolls on.
Thanks, Alan.
Folks, if you're looking for a great deal on a used RV, you gotta check out PPL Motorhomes. They're in New Braunfels at exit 193, and they're open today at 9 a.m. PPL Motorhomes, exit 193 in New Braunfels.
The RV Show USA. Start living the RV dream today.
All right, what a crazy world we live in, I'm telling you. At least it seems crazy to me. I got a monologue coming up here in our next segment that will more than likely stir up the trolls. I hope not, but probably will. On our guest line is full-time RVer himself. He is a man that has seen plenty of natural disasters. He's mighty focused right now on what's going on over Florida way. He works for FEMA as an emergency preparedness officer, Ronnie Warren. So, Ronnie, is it me, or do the storms and natural disasters just seem to make people generally act, I don't know, are they complacent? Are they numb to all the news? It's not going to be as bad as they say.
I think what it comes down to is people don't think that they're going to be a victim of a storm or any kind of disaster. They always think that it might be the other person and not them. So they just kind of hedge their bet on not finding themselves in that kind of trouble, and so often than not, they find themselves in trouble, and then the responders have to come out there and pluck them off a rooftop, or cut the roof out of a home to get them out of the attic and that kind of stuff. So, it's just best practice. If you know the storm is coming your way, pay attention. Look at your plan and decide where you're going to go. And I was talking to some friends of mine that I have worked with and known for many years, and they live in Florida now on the East Coast. And they already have their stuff packed, and they're leaving tonight for Atlanta because they're all about preparedness, and they're paying attention, and they're taking it very serious.
Is it too late though to do much prepping? I mean, gosh, the storm is just almost there, and I want to know what are some last minute things that people can do right now, and then realistically, because we're going to make it through. We're going to make it through this storm. How much is it going to cost to get to be prepared? You got to get supplies and so forth. But right now, what can people do today?
Well, they can, it's very simple, put fuel in your car and identify a place, a destination to go away from the storm, and just drive there. And, find you a hotel or an RV park, and just get away from the storm, protect yourself, protect your family. And that's really, one of the things at the last minute that you can do. But when you have time, when we still have, a little bit of time left, today or so, get some of those essentials that you may need, like, some bottled water, water purification pumps, some dehydrated meals. These are things that I carry personally in my go bag, and I can probably sustain myself probably a week in my go bag because of the dehydrated food and the water and the water purification pump. And then my food storage at home is a little bit more elaborate than that. But if I have to go somewhere, I know that I have 7 days worth of food, and we also accommodate for our family as well. So each one of my daughters and my wife in her car, we all have our go bags, and we always make sure they're there and they're ready to go.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how many days worth of supplies does somebody need, and from probably at FEMA, you may know this number or at least a range. What percentage of our country is prepared in the event of a natural disaster, a flood, a tornado, a hurricane, a fire? What do you think? I mean, is it 25%? Am I way high, way low? What do you think?
You're high there on that percentage. It seems like there was a study done a few years back that talked about personal preparedness planning and actually people who felt comfortable where they are in their preparedness state, and it was about 17%. So that means there's more people that are not prepared that are probably thinking the government at all levels are going to come in and take care of them, and that's not always the case. I've responded to disasters where we've been there, a week after the event has occurred, and people still don't have water, they don't have food, they've exhausted any and everything that they have, and you're just wondering, how can a person put themselves in that position where they didn't have enough to get them through and heed the warning that was being put out through the media or through the National Weather Service or other outlets. But it's really not that difficult, and yes, there is a little bit of expense about getting prepared, but you can also do preparedness on a budget and just go at it based on a priority, like the need for water. We all have to have good, clean water, and then the filtration. If you have a water filtration system, you can pretty much use about any water that you find with this new filtration systems that we have out there for backpackers, and then the dehydrated meals. You can get complete meals for two people, usually around $5 to $7, and they have tons of calories, and those are the things that we need during the disaster, so that you have good sustainment of keeping yourself, properly nutritioned and so forth. So, and that's, like I said, that's the stuff that I put in my go bag. I stay away from anything canned because it's heavy.
Really?
It's hard to get around. Oh yeah. Well, think about it. How heavy is a can of soup?
Heavy, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if you put 2 of those a day in your go bag, and we kind of preach 72 hours, I take that to the extreme. My go bag has enough dehydrated food for 7 days. And so if you think about, having that much food, what that be, 14 cans of soup in a go bag, that's a lot of weight, and nobody really wants to tote that around. Then you add water to that as well. So what is water, per gallon is 8+ pounds per gallon. So that's a lot of weight. So you got to be smart about your preparedness kit. And back to the dehydrated meals, they're lightweight and they last for years and years and years. And I have to tell you, when I'm out hunting and fishing, that's what we take. And
they taste pretty good, don't they? Good. They really taste good. Great.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, we practice, eating, by, hunting and fishing and eating these meals out on the trail. So we know what we're getting into before we have to face a disaster.
All right, listen,
really well.
We've got less than a minute to go. Give us an action step, Ronnie. What do you want our listeners to do? I've got a link up on our site, but tell them give somebody an action step. Give our listeners an action step, please.
Well, I provided you with the website where they can go to the Are You Ready? An in-depth guide to preparedness. So they can go and download that. It's a PDF, and they can read it on their computer. Then I also provided you with an 800 number they can call and get that publication sent to them free of charge. And just start following that. Once the storm's over, this is going to be a perfect booklet for you to get to put your disaster plan together. But right now, pay attention for the storm and the path it's going to be taking, and get yourself out of harm's way.
All right.
And start buying those few things that you need for your kit.
Got to call it there, Ronnie. I know we're going to be talking very soon. You have a great weekend. We'll talk soon. Thank you for everything, okay?
You're welcome, Alan. You guys take care.
All right, folks, you can connect with Ronnie or with FEMA through our website, thervshowusa.com, thervshowusa.com. Be right back.
Are you an RV enthusiast looking for your next adventure? MobileRVing.com.
Oh, man. Ronnie's got a lot of good info, doesn't he?
He's amazing. I mean, we could do an hour, an easy hour with him.
So the
coffee's getting better, actually.
Isn't
yeah.
Or are you just
my tongue is numb?
Is it numb now? Okay. But maybe it was burnt off. Right now, what you see, the coffee mug and the hat are set decoration. Right now. The people asking about the hat.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Right
it's
now.
It's up for the highest bidder. Who
wants set decoration. Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Come on, man.
Now, are you really thinking about giving these away, or
as prizes? And,
okay.
I mean, I've got to.
Should we include them with the fire disc cooker or the 30 to 40 hours of video?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We're looking for some feedback. What's in your coffee? Do people see me?
You don't want to know.
Actually, what's in my coffee, Diana, is lots of sugar, and I don't drink sugar in coffee. But I got to drink something. This is really not very good. And as much cream as they had, just to kind of make it taste like something other than what it does. All right, for all you guys that have to deal with internet trolls, the haters out there, and thank goodness RVers, we don't have too many of them out there, but I ran into some.
Did you now?
I probably caused some of it.
Yeah, you probably did.
I didn't mean to, but I did. And I've got a message about trolling. And so we're going to talk about that in this monologue, too. So
you like to cause trouble, don't you?
I'm pretty good at it. Like I said, I'm good at interrupting. I'm good at eating.
You apparently can host a television show.
I can talk a lot. I just don't say
that's very true. Holy crud.
Okay, so who we got? There's Nathan. What's happening,
Nathan? It's the first half hour.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Bill.
So Nathan, you want the mug and hate?
You know what, Bill?
Are you trolling?
Hang on, Bill. Are you still? Hang on. We got less than a minute to go. Bill Harmon, I think you were one of our winners several weeks ago, and you did not open your email from us. Therefore, you did not get your prize. It was sent out on a Monday. You got it 1 week to claim your prize. Now he's mad at me. Everybody's mad at me. Okay, we have 30 seconds? No.
No. Well, kind of close.
Kind of close.
Now it's 30 seconds. So, get ready, guys.
Watch our viewer count go to 0 here.
It just might. Hang on, everybody. Alan's about to stir up some trouble when the RV Show USA rolls on.
Second night free. This offer's even good for our super clean, fully furnished on-the-water cabins. Pay for one night, get the second night free. Make your reservation today at BigChiefRVResort.com.
The RV Show USA.
All right, we're back, and this is our shortest segment of the hour. So what about the internet trolls that I referred to? Well, here's the deal. To begin, I got a question for you. What does it feel like to make a mistake? Seriously, what does it feel like? If you say, well, it feels bad to make a mistake. Well, I got another question. Why'd you do it then? As I see it, a mistake doesn't feel like anything. It just feels kind of normal. It's only when you realize, it's a mistake, that's when it finally feels bad. And, brother, I made a big old mistake the other day, and I feel terrible about it. Here's what happened. As a follower of the news, when Hurricane Harvey was knocking at the door here in Texas, watching the news, and this reporter is there on the Texas coast, and there are some people behind him out on this jetty that's sticking way out into the salt water. And, I mean, the wind is blowing like crazy, and the tide's coming up, and these people are out there taking selfies. And I'm thinking, Lord, please don't let them get swept off in the ocean. I mean, they got to be crazy. Anyway, as fate would have it, as you know, by some miracle, the death toll from Harvey has not been nearly as bad as a lot of people feared. But still, it was just crazy seeing what some people were doing. So flash forward to this week. I talk about Florida. I see Irma steaming along as a Cat 4, then a Cat 5, with one of my favorite places in the whole wide world in its crosshairs. And I'm hoping that Floridians will show some common sense, unlike some Texans, and not take chances by putting themselves in danger. So I made a post on a Florida RV camping group page. Man, did people come out of the woodwork, shaming and cussing and disgusted, thinking I'm calling them idiots. I was stunned. At least, 4-letter words, whole deal. I'd never heard of trolls before. I'd seen a lot of haters, but never was the target of so much anger so fast. It wasn't like, hey, Alan, I don't understand what you're saying, or it sounds like you're talking down to us here in Florida. It was just vicious, hateful, instant rage. And in spite of me trying to do my best to take the high road, some people just want to be hateful. What am I saying? Well, I'm suggesting it just might be a good idea to give our fellow human beings a bit of a break and not rush in to criticize and berate and scold and destroy one another. I'm not sure why some people are so ready to attack other people. I've always thought that RVers were among the finest people I've ever met. In general, they're kind and helpful and friendly and accepting, pretty open-minded, flexible, adventurous. But some, as I've learned, well, they're trolls. And I think that in times like we're in, of crazy weather and floods and hurricanes, we could all do well to take a step back and try and give our friends the benefit of the doubt. I'll be the first to admit that I am not the most diplomatic person around. It's a lot easier for me to give advice than it is to take it. But I do think that as a general rule, we may want to try a bit harder to control our tempers, to control our tongues, and try and give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm hopeful I can take my own advice and not take the bait and get drawn into some internet war where nobody wins and everybody looks like a fool to the outsiders. All that said, RVers are among the best people there are in our country. They come from all backgrounds, all income levels, all ages, and for most of us, we share common interests. But we're also human. And dang it, sometimes we screw up, all of us. And sometimes we don't even know it till it's too late. And that includes me. All right, everybody, that's it for hour number 1. Hour number 2 is next. Y'all don't go away.